Well, hello, good evening, everybody. This is Jarrod Alberich, the yard sale artist, with a pop-up live stream. I'm going to be doing a book page sketch tonight, and I am joined from all the way from Bermuda by my buddy Mark Hatherley. He's got, it looks like a Doctor Strange piece sitting there. I think he might have had to step away for just a minute, but he'll be back in a second to show you his amazing inks. I think he's planning on inking that tonight. Hello, Rick Heineken in the chat. And I will be doing a Darth Vader book page sketch on a page from Jedi Search, which I think I got in a discard bin from the library. You can see it's got a jacked up cover and it's missing some pages. And this is what I look for, because then I can take some good pages out, draw on them, and turn them into a piece of art. What up, Rick Heineken? How's things going out on the West Coast tonight?
Hello.
Well, it's not night yet for Rick. It's only like 3 in the afternoon, but we're moving into evening, and it's pretty much night there in the Bermuda.
Yeah, it is. We are at 7:01 to be exact.
There you go.
As you can see, I'm just gonna ink Doctor Strange tonight.
Yeah, our master plan is to be on for 30 minutes to 60 minutes. Looking at the complexity of my Darth Vader, I bet it presses closer to 60. But you know, as usual, we're just here to draw some stuff. Feel free to chat with us, ask us questions, all that stuff. Courtney Holland in the house. Hello, Courtney. Noah the Hyper Potato in the house. Hello, Kurt.
Hello, sir.
And Rick Heineken says he's still at work, so we'll keep it on the down low that he's watching the live stream.
Yeah.
We will not tell your employer.
Nope. You go up fast, bro.
That's right. Your secret is always safe with us on the Yard Sale Artist live stream. And we are broadcasting tonight on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. So hello to all those audiences. If you want to do me a favor and you're not watching on YouTube, if you're watching via Facebook or Twitter, I greatly appreciate it. If you find it in your heart and you've got the time, I would love it if you head over to YouTube and give my channel a subscription. And wherever you are, if you would just give it a thumbs up, a little love, and say hello in the chat, you'd really make our night. But if you just want to watch us like a creepy stalker from the bushes, we're okay with that too.
Yeah, hey,
we're very welcoming.
Yeah, we take all the attention we can get.
That's right. You won't hear us complain.
No, sir. I actually got to try to find you on YouTube myself. Now that you mentioned it.
I mean, my own guest star. I mean, he's pretty much my co-host at this point. You can't find me on YouTube. Oh, let's see. Let me check the chat real quick. Courtney says, "What up? Happy Friday! Happy Friday to you, Courtney." Rick Heineken has a question. What are your thoughts about Dan Didio leaving DC?
Yeah, I just saw that.
I don't really have any thoughts on it. I like Dan, but for personal reasons, and I will now tell a story. When my first son, he's 13 now, when he was born, we are very much comic nerds, both my wife and myself. So his name is Jordan Scott, named after Hal Jordan and Alan Scott.
Nice. 2
Green Lanterns. His bedroom is all Green Lantern themed. We went all out. And word of that got to Dan Didio. And we have an official letter from DC Comics saying that they really appreciated that and all that stuff. And so I just thought it was really neat that he took time out of his day.
Yeah, exactly.
To do a letter, or at least, you know, have his secretary do one and sign it. One of the two.
We'll say he did it.
That's right. And just in case you're wondering, the trend did continue. And my second son's name is Jay West Allen Alberich, for Jay, Garrick, Wally West, and Barry Allen. So his room is all Flash themed. That's the nerd level at my house. Meow, 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 meow. What up, Duchess? Duchess in the chat. I see GLHG in the chat. And Rick Heineken says, wow, that is pretty cool and special. And I thought so too. So that's the love that I have for Dan Didio. On the opposite end of that, I know that one of Dan Didio's quests, one of the things he's kind of famous for is he did not like Nightwing, and he like did all he could to get Nightwing killed.
Oh wow.
And that part I do not like because I'm a huge Nightwing fan.
Yeah,
So.
I like Nightwing as well. One of my favorites, to be honest.
Me too. And so that part of Dan's legacy I could do without.
Well, to be honest, I just saw it on Twitter just a couple minutes ago. I hadn't heard about it, so I'm not even sure what the real story is behind it. Or I don't know if it's like ill intent or he's just moving on to a new venture.
I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't know anything about it until Rick brought it up in the chat. This is the first time
I literally just seen it on Twitter just a couple, like maybe about half an hour ago, to be honest. Someone that posted something about it.
I know nothing.
Yeah, so I would have to read up on it to see what's really going on.
I kind of figured after you and I posted that Spider-Man 11x17 that you drew and I inked. Right. I've just been waiting for Marvel or DC to call us and say, hey,
yeah, that'd be
are you guys ready to do like regular cover work for us? Or
yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, well, we're here, man.
Yeah. A guy can dream, mate.
That's right.
Who knows?
You need that yard sale artist Bermuda Mark combo going in your lives.
Exactly.
Well, let me rearrange that. Bermuda Mark yard sale. He's the penciler. I'm the anchor, so you got to go first.
Yeah, hey, whatever works. I'm not greedy.
That's right. We just want to draw pictures.
Yeah, exactly. Do artwork.
As usual, on all these streams, you are listening to the music of Joe November. His latest album, Beats Without Homes. Please go check that out if you get a chance on your favorite digital music platform.
Where would you find that? Would you find that like on Apple Music or something like that? Or no?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's on Apple Music. It's on Google Play, Spotify. It's everywhere. It's
every time we discuss it on stream, I just forget after the stream's over, and I never honestly go. But it's actually good music. I was listening to it before you came on, and it's actually good music,
I appreciate that, and I'm sure my buddy.
Yeah, nice music as well.
Man. And available on all those places. It just came out, like you said, a couple weeks ago, and I'm real proud of Joe. And it's called Beats Without Homes, and the artist on it it's called Till November, Till November, because it's a collaboration album between Joe November and MC Till. But Beats Without Homes should get you there, and make sure you stop by and appreciate the cover art because that's me. I drew that.
Yours truly.
That's right. Me and a little digital help from our buddy Ace Wheelie.
Yep.
And good news, Ace, he had some health issues. He's been fighting them pretty much since the holidays.
Yeah.
But he's doing much better. So Ace is on the mend, which is good for everybody.
I gotta show that Santa Claus picture that I done, and he's just if I can find it, I'll show it real quick, right? I don't know, I'm not sure which field it's in, but it was something.
Santa Claus is pretty dope.
Yeah, but I was actually looking forward to seeing what that looked like once it was done. But I understood that Ace did have some issues or whatnot.
Got a question in the chat from GLHD. Who's your favorite Robin, Mark?
My favorite Robin? I would say Nightwing.
Dick Grayson, the original?
Yeah.
I will say it is a close call. My favorite Robin is going to be Tim Drake. But my favorite, like if you bundle it all together, Nightwing.
Yeah.
Like Nightwing is one of my very favorite superheroes. And I love Nightwing. But if we're talking strictly Robin, just the Robin years, I'm going to give it to Tim Drake. I always really liked him.
Right.
I want to tell everybody that this is my favorite track on the album, but I have to find out from Joe if this is him or MC Till.
Oh, right.
Because I can't say it's my favorite if it's not Joe.
Yeah, there you go. Gotta tread lightly.
That's right. I mean, MC Till is great too. They're both great. But I do like this track a lot. Folks in the chat, do let us know if the balance is right, audio, voice versus the music. I can play with that. I think we've hit a happy harmony over the last few streams, but I always want to make sure.
Yeah, you just never know, do you?
Yeah, I want to make sure everybody happy. Everybody happy. I don't know where I got that island accent from just now. I guess Mark inspired me or something.
Hey, mate. Always welcome. Always welcome, mate. But going back to Robbins, I like Batman's son as well.
Oh, you're a Damien fan.
Yeah, I like him too as a.
I don't know. We may have to part ways there. I'm not sure about that Damien.
Yeah, I say it's like. I mean, he's a bit of a rebel.
I can't really judge too hard because Damien really came on the scene after I stopped subscribing.
Right.
So can't judge too harshly.
Okay.
I don't know enough about it. I mean, I know.
Right.
I've read a little here and there, and I watched the animated movies.
Right. I think that's what gets me, The animated movies are pretty cool.
I do think it's neat that they did something with that, though, because he'd have that child by Talia. Gosh, I want to say that storyline went down in like the late 70s.
Right.
they finally like addressed it. Well, I hope everybody out there's having a fantastic Friday. Mine could not have been better. I've had tons of good news today, and I hope to share some of that with you guys in the near future. But everything's been coming up. J-Bone, which was my old nickname in the Air Force.
Nice.
What up, Chola? Ow! Good to see you here. Let's see. GLHG follows up. He says, I knew one would fall, so here's the other part of the question. Do you prefer Tim Drake as Robin, or should he be his own hero? I'm not loving that he's going by Drake now. I didn't know that was a thing. I definitely prefer him as Robin, but then again, it's a I've quote unquote fell out of comics around 2008, and no slight on comics. It's just I started a family and didn't have time anymore. So I'm going to go Tim Drake. You feel free to answer that, Mark. Do you prefer Tim Drake as Robin, or should he be his own hero? It's really hurting you over there. I can tell.
I kind of like him as Robin. You know what I mean?
Nothing wrong with that.
I just got accustomed to that, and you know what I mean. I never really gave that a thought. I mean, I guess at some point in time, everybody would like to be the hero. You know what I mean?
I guess, yeah, good point.
But I don't mind. Yeah, I kind of like him as Robin. But I like Carrie Kelly as well. The female sidekick Robin, I think.
I don't know an ounce about that. I'm not even going to try to lie. I
mean, I don't know much about her, but I know she's coming to some of them, and I think she's pretty cool as well.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's my favorite one, but
I don't know a thing about that.
Yeah, it is hard to keep up.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
don't get me wrong,
I've been out for too long.
Yeah, me too. I can't lie to you either. I think I draw comics more than anything else.
Definitely on my end. I'm definitely drawing more than I'm reading these days. Let's see. Pop quiz from Rick Heineken. What comic and issue number was Nightwing's first appearance?
Oh, God.
Woo! That's going to be an issue of, I want to say it's in Teen Titans. Man, that's a darn good question, right?
Yeah.
I want to say it's in a Wolfman Perez Teen Titans issue from about 1985, 6. ish, but that's as close as I'm going to get.
Yeah,
I
you got.
don't remember off the top of my head.
You got me.
I have the when he got his solo series, which I think Chuck Dixon and Scott McDaniel. What a pair, by the way. I love everything they do. I got the first 25 issues hardbound of that. That is how much I love Nightwing.
Nothing wrong with that.
If I really, really, really love a comic, especially if they never collected it,
Right.
I will go all in on getting it hardbound. Where do I get it hardbound, you might ask? Well, stay tuned to the Logbox Crusade because I think you might hear some commercials for it soon because
nice.
I believe we got us a sponsor, people.
Good stuff.
Don't tell anyone.
Good stuff. Amy, everybody deserves a break somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, let's see here. Oh, my. In the chat, I see Mr. Pat Sampson speaking the Longbox Crusade with a pop quiz question that says, who is so fancy? It's Jarrod Alberich, the yard sale artist. He's so fancy. We all know that. He's talking about my hardbound comic collection. Every time I bring it up, I tell everybody how fancy I am. So, yeah, it's true. So fancy. But you already know.
Exactly.
I'm in the fast lane from LA to Tokyo. I just made that up.
That's why you're so fancy, sir. Only you can do that. You know?
Only I can just make up lyrics that somebody else already wrote. Let's see here. We got GLHC says Damien is his favorite Robin, and that's okay with me. GL,
Yeah.
again, I don't know enough about it to really weigh in, but I was really loved how Tim Drake got introduced, like how he figured out who Batman was. Basically, he earned the right to be Robin, and I really like that.
Out of everybody, right? That's why I say, yeah.
There's my buddy Star15 in the chat. What up, Star? Thanks for stopping by. Tales of the Teen Titans number 44, Rick Heineken says. I was in the neighborhood.
Well, you done better than I did.
I was good to see you here in the chat, Pat Sampson, one of my best friends on the planet. And I'm glad that things are going well for you, buddy.
Yep.
Feel like I got some good news from Pat today. And, well, that's all I'll say about that for now. But I think things are going good for my buddy Pat.
Yeah, that's good. That is good.
I like it when things are going good for Pat. I've almost got my line work ready on this Vader. I love it like when I do the line works and it just looks insane. My art never makes any sense until the blacks get filled and the colors show up.
Hey, that's what art is, huh?
It is. Like sometimes I'll be doing a commission for somebody and they'll be like, hey, I love process pictures. Will you send me pictures along the way? And I say, sure. And then I send them like the framework piece like this. And I always have to tell them, don't worry.
Exactly.
Don't freak out on me. It'll be okay.
Have to see the finished product.
It's funny. Sometimes even I'm looking at it like, oh my goodness, is this going to work out?
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry, sir. I know the feeling.
This is going to even work out. And then by magic, once the blacks come in and the colors hit, I'm like, okay, thank goodness.
Yeah.
It worked out.
And then just wonder how you did it, huh? Again.
Yeah. It's like, well.
But that's what I say. Every time I start a blank piece of paper, it's like, okay.
Okay, here we go.
And then it's scratchy and scrapey, and then it just turns into something.
Man, Pat's getting all kinds of love in the chat. People love him when Pat shows up. Pat steals the show, man.
Hey, goodbye me.
Goodbye me too. Ever draw a line and you're not sure where it's supposed to go next?
Yeah, well,
I just did that. I'm like, why did I draw that line?
Well, I'm actually looking at this Doctor Strange, right? This is actually something I drew quite some time ago. And I was just going to my field, and I said, well, look, this will be a nice thing to ink, because I always wanted to ink it. But some parts of it, it's like I was wondering what it was that I actually did. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to like improvise and all.
That's the hardest part about going back to an old piece because you're like,
Yes,
what was my plan for this?
exactly. I'm looking. I'm saying like, what was that I actually done, and what was I trying to achieve? You know.
I hear you. All
And then
right.
it's and then it's times where you're finishing. You're getting tired at the time,
Yeah.
so you just do anything. You know. You come back with a fresh eye. It's a total difference.
What was I thinking?
Let's
I think I've
see.
got all my line work the way I want it.
I gotta let this dry off a bit. No, you know what I wanted to. Let me see.
Doctor Strange is for sale, I assume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
once
So
again, it's
you're
a 9
watching
by 12, I believe.
9x12 Doctor
Yeah,
Strange. He will make something out of it, I guarantee.
yeah, we're getting there.
Well, Pat says he can't see the other chats. I'm not sure how this works, how the chat function works on Facebook, my friend. Because a lot of the other chats, people that are excited to see you are from YouTube.
Yeah, and I think the chats are pretty behind, aren't they? Like the delay, I think.
Yeah, sometimes the StreamYard gets a couple minutes behind.
Right, you have to be mindful. Yeah, like
Yeah, so I'm sorry if you've been chatting and it takes us
right,
forever
and you
to
don't
respond.
right. Because I noticed that. I mean, it's hard to keep current. Because the other night I was watching the other stream with Vader and you guys, and you kind of see how delayed it is.
Yeah, on a good night it'll be delayed about maybe I'd say 2 minutes. I've
Right.
had bad nights where it's delayed like 6 to 8 minutes before, and that's just the
Yeah.
worst. But just
And-
everybody out there know that happens sometimes. We
Right.
will address your chats when we see them.
Yes, and that's why I said I'll mention it. Because obviously I wasn't on the last stream, but I said I'll mention it so people do understand. Because I know Twitch was similar to that as well. Wasn't it had a bit of a delay, so you don't want to seem like you're ignoring anyone, you know?
Oh, except for Noah the Hyper Potato, we are 100% ignoring him. Because Pat's on Facebook, he doesn't get to see all the other chats, and he just wanted to say hello to everyone. So now I'm speaking for Pat. Hello, everyone.
Hello to Pat.
Mr. Pat. Everybody loves him. He's so fancy. It used to be me that was fancy, but now it's Pat.
There you go. This ink is like, for some reason, taking forever to dry tonight. I better leave that for a bit.
I always have just off screen. I always have a fan going. It's either down on the floor, so I get air current under my desk, which keeps my legs nice and cool.
Because I can't. This is right. I'm just also just making a mess of myself here. So what I'm gonna do?
I hate it when I start dragging my hand through the ink.
Oh yeah,
drives me nuts.
The worst part is when you don't notice until
yeah.
Of course, half your picture.
You're like
sometimes you don't even notice it.
Why is Doctor Strange's eyebrow so big? Oh, I dragged my ink through it, my hand through it.
Thank God for white at all.
Yes, indeed. Yep, Rick points out that there are 3 different sites streaming: YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, and that is true. We are multi-site streaming because we're so fancy.
So tune in.
And Rick Heineken says that I am fancy and that Pat is sexy, which, you know, that's fair. If you're watching with us, I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Sound off in the chat. We will get to you, even though there's a little delay on the chat tonight.
Yeah.
And please consider, if you're not watching on YouTube, giving us a subscription over there, liking the video. Unless you don't like it, then keep it to yourself, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Keep that stuff to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, don't hurt our feelings. We're sensitive guys, man. We're artists.
Yeah, for real. It's not easy being an artist.
So I'm doing Darth Vader, which means in essence, I really only need 3 colors. I can do Darth Vader pretty well, I may say so myself.
Lord Vader.
With black, red, and a gray for highlights. I could even get away with just doing black and red and letting the page carry the highlights, which I'm considering. But that's one of my favorite things about Vader is you can make a really impactful piece with him with very little visual information, just because he's so iconic and we all know, what he looks like, essentially.
Exactly.
So you can really boil him down to some simplicity.
Yeah. Once you got that shiny head, some gloss on his head, you're good to go.
You're good to go. Exactly. All right, now I'm gonna do his red lightsaber beam. Today, man, woo! Lots of good news in my life today, but it has been exhausting. I've just been running around.
Yeah, keeps you busy though, don't it?
Yeah, I had a lot of commitments today. I have lunch with a friend of mine every Friday, so I had lunch with him. And just as I was like pulling out of my driveway, I got some good news from another friend of mine, but he gave me things I had to do.
Right.
And then I got then I had to rush home because I was recording an episode of my podcast, Comics with Normies, with a guy today. So I had that scheduled. It's like, man, there's so much scheduled things.
Guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, in the end, it really is.
But I must say, it can be a bunch of work, I must say.
Indeed, sir. Indeed.
And that's the truth.
GLH is having fun with Pat in the chat. All right, pop quiz from Rick. Who were the original members of the Defenders? Whew. Oh, I'm going to go. I think Doctor Strange was in there, and I want to say it was Doc Strange, the Hulk, Valkyrie, Black Hawk. Let me know if I'm even close on those, Rick. That's where I'm going to stop.
Well, Rick, you have to forgive me because I have no idea. I mean, I could just blurt out stuff, but hey.
Yeah, I'm going Hulk, Valkyrie, Doc Strange, Black Hawk. So since I'm drawing Darth Vader, I want to recommend to everybody, there's a really interesting, well, at least there was, I hope it's still up, but a really interesting documentary about David Prowse, the guy who physically played Darth Vader, in the suit on Netflix that I really enjoyed watching.
All right.
So I definitely recommend that. I can't, for the life of me, can't remember what it was called, but I'm certain if you went to Netflix and you searched David Prowse documentary, or probably Star Wars documentary.
Right. Should be able to find it.
Yeah, there's some parts of it, I won't lie, it's kind of a sad story.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it seems like he kind of became an outcast in the Star Wars community. Like they thought that he released some information to the press.
Oh, right.
That he maintains that he did not, but they still blame him for it. And
he leaked it out.
Yeah, he really wanted to play Vader when the helmet came off in Jedi.
Oh, right.
And he felt like he'd earned that, but they kind of blackballed him a little bit. I mean, there's two sides to every story, so not take anybody's side. But it was just sad, kind of the way it played out.
Right. It's unfortunate, huh?
Yeah. And then, the cool thing about the movie is there's a Spanish filmmaker who raised the money to reshoot that scene with David Prowse in the helmet.
Right.
And he did that. And unfortunately, in the documentary, I mean, they can't have the rights to a lot of the Star Wars stuff, so you don't get to see it.
Oh,
per
right,
se.
right.
You get to see David Prowse like go to the screening of the scene and all that stuff. And I'm sure if you went out on the internet, you could find it.
Yeah.
But
They
it
just
was
can't
really cool, really
legally. They
interesting.
can't show it.
Yeah. My most favorite little factoid I learned about it is it's pretty funny how David Prowse, as he's gotten older, his voice has changed, and he sounds like Darth Vader now.
Yeah, because he actually didn't do the voice, did he?
I'm like, yeah, now these days he wouldn't. I don't think he'd need voice dub. I
Right.
mean, of
He
course,
he could probably do the voice now.
he probably could, but of course, hats off to James Earl Jones. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. Right. He was like,
defining
yeah,
moment. But it's funny too. I learned recently that I always thought, because it's kind of like a famous factoid about Star Wars, that James Earl Jones is not in the credits of the first movie, or first couple.
I heard about that. I never really looked to verify.
Yeah, that's a true thing. And I learned recently, because I always thought, well, that sucks. I thought maybe they just this was before voice acting was a big deal. Maybe they forgot about him.
Right,
but I found out that he actually personally requested to not have his name in the credits, because he felt like it took from David Prowse's performance. Like,
yeah, and I guess it probably thought it took from even the whole persona of Darth Vader too.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be surprised like what different things do.
But it's funny how he did that. Like, I don't want this to take away from David.
Right.
And then, like, you ask anybody 10 years later who's Darth Vader, and they're like, James Earl Jones.
Well, yeah, exactly.
It became a thing of its own.
But that goes to show you when you humble yourself, huh?
Yeah, I
you still get the credit for it,
Okay, let's see. I think I got to go back to the chat. We've been chit-chatting, get some answers for us. The original Defenders were Strange Hulk and Submariner. Interesting. I forgot about him. And just the three. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Invaders. Now, the Invaders that were formerly Rodline asked, that was Captain America, Submariner, and the Human Torch, but not Johnny Storm, but the robotic android Human Torch. That one I did.
Nice.
Rick Heineken says Valkyrie joined in issue 4, so I was close on Valkyrie. Formerly Rodline says, hello, Rap Dad. People love my dad rap. Genome popped in just to say hi before he gets on his own live stream. Nope, don't compete with us, Genome.
There's plenty of time to stream.
I sent you a message on Instagram today, Genome. We're going to try to work it out to where I'm a guest on his show. Maybe do some drawing while I'm there. So that'll be fun to do a little collab with Genome.
Yeah.
My buddy who we stepped in on some of the same sand in Iraq.
Nice.
So I'm happy to help out another combat veteran. Or is he helping me out?
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's $1 million question. You're helping each other out.
Helping each other out. That's what it's all about.
Helping out each other.
Exactly. Hardest part about Darth Vader is once I get all my shapes in, just coloring the black around all these little intricate shapes. I wish it was a computer image so I could just click fill and let it do its thing. But no, I'm a traditional artist. Genome promises it will be a good time when I show up on his show, and I don't doubt it. Genome, feel free to shout out the name of your program. It's probably Genome Presents on YouTube. I'll shout that out in the chat so people watching might take a quick trip over to your page and give it a sub, as the kids say.
Yep, I'll sub it.
What are you solving?
No, I said I'll sub his channel.
Oh, subbed him. Okay, I thought you said you're going to solve it. I'm like,
no.
What do we need to solve? Are we in a mystery?
Yeah, Doctor Strange mystery. I'm solving this inking problem.
Mine is beginning to look like Darth Vader, so that's good.
Yep, that's always a good sign. Lord Vader.
Lord Vader.
You know, I'll probably watch Star Wars later on. I think that's what I'm going to do too.
I love it.
I'll take that off the stream, you know.
I was talking with somebody. I can't remember where. One of the social medias we were laughing about. One of our favorite characters was the guy who was like, I think it was when I was drawing that Wedge Antilles live stream. I was talking with somebody about one of their favorite characters, the guy who's like lipping off the Lord Vader. And like the first scene when they're having like their bad guy board meeting, and he's like, "So far, your wizardry hasn't managed to," you know. And Vader like force chokes him, like, "What is this guy's first day or something?"
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing?
Exactly. Like, who does that?
Like, I'm just gonna give this guy a bunch of crap, see if he'll do anything about it. Does he look like the kind of guy who's fooling around?
Exactly. Nope, it's not the guy.
So, Darth Vader might be the greatest movie villain of all time. I'll put that out there, but I'm happy to hear anybody in the chat who has a more iconic movie villain.
I don't think so.
You might win me over with Hans Gruber from Die Hard. I love Hans Gruber from Die Hard. But,
oh yeah.
Oh, let's see. Let me check the chat anyway.
Well, you know, Die Hard's like one of the most underrated movies. You know, the first one.
Oh, I love Die Hard.
Yeah, you loved it. Yeah, that first one.
All right. So, formerly Rodline asked if I may ask how much do one of these book page sketches cost, and the correct answer, I thought I saw somebody answering when they were right. I can't find it in the chat now, but they are $22. And that includes free shipping if you live in the United States. If you live in Bermuda, they are $6,000.
Yeah, you better believe it. Yeah, post office.
No, $22. They're just $22 if you live in the States. Again, that's free shipping. I've just got an order in from Canada. And for those, if it's outside the US, then I do $20 a drawing, and then it's just whatever actual shipping is. So, because the 22 in the States kind of helps cover shipping, but if you're outside the States, then they're just $20 a drawing, and then whatever shipping is. I appreciate you letting me do a commercial there, Rodline. Jill HG said, switch of pace. Favorite X team? X-Men, X-Force, X-Factor, Excalibur, Generation X. Ooh. I'll let you go first, Mark. Favorite X team?
Favorite X team? Mm-hmm. That is a good one as well. I guess the original one, if you ask me.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I'm sort of old school, right?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Those of you who have followed my adventures on the Long Box Crusade, which, oh, by the way, they deserve a subscription too. If you follow my adventures on the Long Box Crusade, you will know that that is the one, like, corner of comics that I just never really got into. You have to draw the line somewhere. You know, at one point I was subscribing to about 60 comics a month, and I have to draw a line somewhere. So I didn't subscribe to the X books. I voted for Senator Kelly. I'm a mutant hater from way back. I'm just kidding about that part. But I just never, like, my brother had the X books growing up. So I was like, okay, I'll buy, because you know, you have limited funds. So Jason was like, I'll get the X books, and I was buying like the Batmans and stuff like that. So when we went our separate ways, I just kept on my track, and he kind of kept on his track. So that's a long way of saying I'm not sure, Jill. Yeah. I do know that I have a soft spot in my heart for Excalibur, though, because when I was at the age where I was reading Jason's comics, I liked Excalibur a lot, probably because they were England based and we were living in Europe at the time.
Right.
And I'm a big fan of Nightcrawler. And I like Captain Britain a lot. So I think a lot of that had to do with it.
Good answer.
Oh, Genome. He's being all polite. And Genome was the one that gave the pricing, which was correct. Genome, you're more than welcome to pimp your channel in the chat, dude. I appreciate your kindness, though, but you don't have to be. Oh, it was Genome who picked out the guy. Yeah, that's right. It was Genome who picked out the guy who was giving Darth Vader a bunch of crap at the board meeting. Oh, my buddy from Blasted or Stash It is in the chat. What up, Blasted or Stash It? Comics and reviews, another channel worth your time. And my other buddy from Canada, Del Regard, is in the chat. I think he's requesting dad rap, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, what can I say?
All right, he's doing the exact opposite of that. For some reason, I'm just never going to win him over on that one.
Dead rap, Max, and you shall receive.
I'm really hoping Joe puts it on his next album because it needs to take the world by storm.
Yeah, there you
go. Del Regard says no.
Hey man, it's something everybody should hear, you know.
I know. It hurts me, man. It hurts me deeply, but he does love the book page art, and he is a supporter. So, you know, I gotta love some Del Regard.
There you go.
If he wasn't a supporter, though, I'd be like, screw Del Regard.
Dead rap it is.
Dead rap all day. Nah, I wouldn't do that to you, bud. Starting to get Darth Vader. What are we? 43 minutes. I should have known it was going to take longer.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times if I have the sketch down, so just the light pencil work on a book page sketch, I can do it in 30 minutes. But I think just Darth Vader's got so many mix and highlights that I got to go around. Plus, I've been checking the chat. Look, I'm not making excuses. This is the part of the show where Jarrod just fell apart.
Yeah, well, I'm the help.
It's not my fault.
I'm the help at all.
Well, your Doctor Strange is looking excellent. And as a reminder to everybody out there, that Doctor Strange could be yours. If you don't have a piece of original Mark Hatherley art in your collection, you need one. Because honestly, how many pieces do you got that came from Bermuda? I'm betting the answer is 0.
There you go. I'm betting too.
So help the man out. It's harder for him to move art in Bermuda because it's obviously a smaller audience.
Yeah.
So if you got a few shekels in your pocket, let Mark know. You see his Twitter handle on the screen on his half. He will be happy to trade that drawing for money.
Yeah. To put it lightly.
Blasted or Stash got the 1-year Patreon subscriber package that we sent him from the Long Box Crusade. I'm glad. Thank you for your 1 year of support. You should be seeing some new stuff from us soon. I know we've been a little bit quiet lately. We've had to fix a few things, but we are coming back with a vengeance. That's my plan anyway.
Yep. Better late than never, me.
But yeah, thank you for your year of support via Patreon. We do a thing over the Long Box Crusade where if you're a $5 or $10 a month donor, basically $5 or more a month donor, you get a package of goodies once you've been subscribing to that level for a year. We call it the birthday package.
Nice.
And I'm always out yard sailing, hence the name, Yard Sale Artist. And I always find like cool, like comic book and nerd oriented things at yard sales. And so I just stockpile them. And then when these package times come around, pull out some cool stuff and send it their way. So you'll have to remind me of what you got, blast it or stash it, because I can't remember what I sent you.
Yeah. After a while, you start to lose track, huh?
Yeah. GLHG Nightcrawler has an amazing moment in Excalibur when he fights like 50 opponents and wipes the floor with them. Oh, that's cool. GLHG says Mark's got all of Bermuda covered with his art. He's got the market cornered in Bermuda.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know too many artists that do comic art, to be honest with you. And there was one guy that actually in a comic book store. He actually done a couple of his own books, but I guess it was so hard to carry on. It was just like, he just stopped doing it, couldn't be bothered anymore, because I mean, like you say, it's not the easiest market of survival,
Yeah, I mean, that is tough.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
I've traveled to many island countries in the Atlantic. Not to Bermuda yet, but it's on my list now because I got a buddy there.
There you go.
But I went to the Bahamas, and one of the first questions I ask when I get off the ship is to the locals, "Hey, where's your local comic store?" And they don't even really have one.
Yeah,
it's usually like a grocery store that also sells a few comics.
Right, because here, I mean, I don't even see too many comics, even in the pharmacy. Where they have the book section. I don't even, because the last comic book store we had closed on maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know that we even have a comic book store anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, they're closing down a lot in the States as well.
Oh yeah, so I hear, it's unfortunate.
That's weird.
Yeah, very.
When you think about how popular the characters are now,
right? But it's just that people are just not buying comics. The movies, they'll go to the movies, and it's just the actual comics. It's like far and few now.
It's an interesting time in the comic market.
Yeah.
I mean, digital, plays into that. There's more and more digital collectors now.
Yeah.
I remember when people were like, well, I only collect trade paperbacks, right? And I'm like, well, that's cool. But if you don't collect the comics,
right,
trade paperbacks ain't going to get made.
Exactly.
An interesting time in that market. And we'll have to see how it all flushes out.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is, not to cut you off, but it's comics is such a fascinating thing when you're into it, But it's like anything else, you can't force people to just be into stuff because you find it fascinating, Because I don't even think too many people really, really. I don't know if I appreciate it's the right word, but too many people even like comic art, But to me, I think it's the best thing in the world.
Why can't everybody love it like we do?
Right, exactly. But they probably see my pictures and say, "Oh yeah, that looks cool," and then that's the end of that, Yes, but that's just the reality of it.
This is a good time, though, to be an independent comic creator.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can link up with so many people now.
With the technology and the price of printing and social media, like you can market yourself, as I did with Hamilton versus Burrow, Werewolf Tale, available at theyardsaleartist.com.
But that's it. Yeah.
It's a great time to be an indie creator.
Yeah.
And in fact, I mean, bold statement coming, folks. Turn your volumes up. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but like if Marvel or DC called and said, "Hey, we want you to work here," I'd think about it because I'd be like, I really like doing my indie thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, I'm not saying I'm above it or anything, but it's really nice to kind of work for yourself.
Yeah, because I mean, with that comes a certain amount of responsibility as well.
Yeah, true.
Like
I may not be able to fulfill at this point in my life.
right. Because I mean, I like the yard sale deadlines, you know.
Yes, dang right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's bad enough. I gotta accommodate my day job. You know what I mean?
Now, having said that, I would jump at the chance if, like I joked about before, but like if someone saw that Spidey piece that we did together,
Oh
I
yeah,
was like, hey, listen up, Marvel folks, if you're listening to the show, or DC. Let me tell you a secret. Mark Hatherley and I would probably do a handful of free covers for you guys.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Just because we like to do it, and I think we
Yeah.
make a great team, but I'm biased.
yeah. And I would well, like you said, I hope we can do lots more work together, me. Because I mean,
Oh, hell yeah.
because it gives me something to do, really. You know, it's not easy to come by. Actually, like I said, even her to get commission work and whatnot. It's just not. It's not easy at all. So
That's
I
the
take it,
rub.
man. But you are right there. You know, once you get some things, you think you want to do it until you get to the level where it becomes something you have to do.
It's like a whole new ball game when you have to do
exactly.
it.
It's a whole new ball game. Exactly. you know.
And there's an editor calling you. Things change.
And I mean, understood too. I mean, obviously, if you're making enough for that to be a full-time job, is a difference as well. But some people can handle it,
Yep, indeed.
like the commitments and the work. So some of these guys, man, I can't imagine some of the deadlines they have to meet.
Every time I'm at a con, I've probably told you this before, Mark, I get a young person who comes up and says, how do I do what you do? How do I get involved in making comics? My very first piece of advice is the same every time. Get a day job.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to think of it like professional sports, man. Only a small percentage of them are going to the
well,
show.
And that is the reality of it, right? I mean, regardless of what you want to think. And I think a lot of people don't even realize, even with the professional sports, how much people are going to actually make it to that level where we go successful,
Mm-hmm. There is a reality involved.
Yeah.
What's funny is, I tell the young people, make sure you have a day job, and I kind of get that look, but the parents that are with them are looking at me and they're nodding. They're like, "Yep, that's good advice. Thank you for telling my kid that."
Yeah, exactly. You have to be realistic.
Exactly, kid.
You have to be realistic.
I've been running off at the mouth. I think it's time for me to check my chat. People are loving that Blaster Stash. It's here, that's for sure. Ooh, Duchess has a question floating out there that I missed of what's your favorite Star Wars movie. They may have been talking about that in the chat. I'll have to catch up.
What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Oh, okay. Blaster Stash, you got some comics and some trading cards and a DVD or a Blu-ray, one of the two. Awesome. Yeah. A lot of people commiserating with us about how characters are so popular, but the comics aren't selling. And some people say there's just too many variants in comics today. That could be part of the problem, my friend.
Yeah, because some people just like the original stuff too. Like, they want to see the regular wholesome Superman,
Yeah.
Some people just want to see that, and then once it stops, and I mean, the tricky part again too is all right, you might like the original basic Superman, but then how many different stories can you possibly make? With him saving Lois or whatever, you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
There's the things you have to look at as well. They have to keep people interested.
And formerly Rodline, brings up another good point. It says, where are the free comic books at the theater when people, are going to the movies to give it a try? And I'll be honest with you, I was moonlighting at a theater when I was at Maxwell Air Force Base in Montgomery. A friend of mine was the manager at the local theater, and that's what I did in college, and that's where I knew her from. So I was moonlighting, working there once once a week, basically just building and previewing the films. Good work if you can get it.
Yeah.
And the local comic book guy was smart enough to partner with her. So this is when like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man came out and Ben Affleck Daredevil came out. Nick Cage Ghost Rider came out. He was smart enough to partner with them and do that, to offer the comics in the lobby. And I thought that was brilliant. But Rodline's right. Why aren't more people doing that?
Yeah, exactly.
Star 15 said it would be amazing if Marvel hired you, Mr. Jarrod. And I agree. I have received a paycheck from Marvel for the trading card art that I did for them in Upper Deck. So I'm proud to say that I've been on their payroll.
Yeah. And I would say run with it. There's a lot more than I can say. Run with it, sir.
Run with it. Formerly, Rodline says both drawings are looking great. Thank you very much, sir.
Yep, thank you.
And Delregard says, I only buy back issues now. I've not bought a new issue in years. And Delregard, I hate to hate to be a downer or anything, but I'm kind of right there with you, man.
Right. That's the thing.
Yeah, same. Same, buddy. I love back issue bin. Like, I actually wrote an article for it in the newsletter that goes out to our patrons over at Longbox about how in all facets of my life now, I am more interested in going back than forward.
Yeah, I think I remember saying it on one of the other streams.
Yeah, I probably repeat the hell out of myself.
No, don't worry, I do too. I think I'm like a broken record these days.
That's all right.
I know the feeling. Yeah, exactly.
I'm just more interested in going back than forward these days. I like to go find the things I missed.
I think when you get older, that happens as well.
Yeah, and I am past 40 now, so I think
you tend to start remembering those things that you liked and why you like them.
Yep.
Especially when you find things now that you don't really relate to that much, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I guess it's just a part of life.
I love going into like a back issue bin and finding comics that I didn't try back in the day. Like like I said, I recorded a Comics with Normies episode earlier today. We did an issue from 1988 of Star Trek, from DC Comics. Okay, and like I said when on the recording with him, you'll hear it when it comes out if you subscribe to White Rocket Entertainment. But anyway, what I said was, when I was a kid, I took a pass on the Star Wars comic or Star Trek comics and Star Wars too, actually, because I was like, I have the movies and the TV shows. Like, why do I need this?
Right.
And so that's the kind of stuff I'm going back. And I've read a whole bunch of the DC Star Trek comics from the 80s now, and they are fantastic.
Yeah, see that?
I'm like, why did I ever?
Yeah, but see, and that's part of the problem because now you just discovered it. But how about the people that never will?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Got that right, brother.
Because it's hard to even how you feel about it. You know it's good, but it's hard to convince or persuade somebody else to try it out. You know, you might get one or two people, but that's another tricky part as well. You know, sometimes we just find things by like just a stroke of luck on our own. You know.
Yep, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, but you can't convince other people otherwise, you know.
Well, Mr. Mark Hatherley, I think I've almost got it.
Yeah.
58 minutes into my 30-minute broadcast. Delregard also makes a good point. There's a whole lot more to choose from if you go back than forward. And I'm doing that not just in comics. I'm doing that in movies. I'm going back to watch old movies I've never seen before. Video games. I'm going back to play old games rather than going forward. Everything. Music. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm a yard sale artist. So I'm going to yard sales and I'm finding all these old things.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, well, I've never seen that. So let me pop it in, check it out, you know?
It's quite cool, too, even to do that. You know, because you're like salvaging stuff that's otherwise would probably end up in the trash. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
A lot of things wouldn't even make it past that, you know? And I think that's a lot of what art really is.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I'm doing a little zoom in for the Darth Vader that I've got here on the book page. You might
Yeah,
notice a
that is
little
awesome.
rectangle of purple here. That's actually low-tack masking tape
Yeah, that looks cool.
that I'm about to peel off. And why did I put that there? So I'd remember to leave myself a place to sign it.
Right.
Because otherwise, there's not a good place to sign this piece. So I peel off the low-tack tape, and there's a little blank there. Rectangle where I can drop the signature. Boom. Man, you got a lot of ink work done on that. Strange.
Yeah, more than I actually thought I'll get done.
In fact, I'm going to put you on the big board for a second.
Yeah, I'll just give it a.
Well, I got some stuff to organize here. Get organized while we watch Mr. Mark on the big board. Thanks everybody, by the way, who's been liking and loving this on Facebook. I can see it getting some hearts and some thumbs ups, and that means a lot to us.
Yeah, got that right out. You took the words right out of my mouth. It's a huge amount. Some appreciation, you know.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I don't like to toot my own horn all that much.
No, but
yeah, actually, I love it. But I am very, very pleased with this Darth Vader, and your Doctor Strange is looking awesome.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I kind of cheated tonight because I already had it drawn out, but hey,
that's how I do it every night, though.
Yeah, well,
every live stream we've ever done, I've had at least a framework down because, like I said, I like live streaming and all, but like. I don't need the people watching me wig out when I can't get my framework right. I'm balling it up and I'm using the F word and throwing it across the room.
But I mean, I totally understand because a lot goes behind the scenes, doesn't it?
Yeah. You're a braver man than me most of the time because you start with a blank page.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, man, I don't need watching me freak out on the live stream.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes behind the scenes, I must say.
Mm-hmm. A lot of that, I mean, again, he may not want me to say this, but I'm saying it out loud again. You know, I'm kind of mentored by Beatty, by John.
Right.
He taught me how to like get all your stuff done kind of early.
Yeah.
Get your sketches done. Get yourself a light box because I don't know how many times you'll do a drawing from scratch and realize it's too far to the right.
Oh yeah. I've done that a bunch of times.
So that's why he's like, sketch it out on cheap paper. Get a light box, and then that way, once you've got it the way you want, now you basically just trace yourself.
Yes.
And get it perfectly centered and how you want it.
Because there's nothing worse than when you have this nice picture and you have to start all over.
Yeah.
Whatever reason. I've been there. I'm had that happen as well.
You are much better at you have a much better drawing confidence than I do because you'll come in with a blank page. I've seen you and just make magic, and I'm like, nah, I got to do my prep work.
I appreciate the credit. Thank you very much.
I got to do my homework before I come to the show.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chola. Says looks great, guys.
Yep, thanks.
Del Regard says yard sales are a great way to make extra cash. One man's trash is another man's treasure, and that's how I live my life. I'm the yard sale artist, man. That's how this whole thing started. I've been yard selling for 20 years. I go to yard sales. I find things that I can flip on eBay and make a profit.
Yeah,
and then one time I went to a yard sale. They had a bunch of art supplies, and I was like, man, I used to be in art. So then I started like making some stuff, and then I found interesting things to paint on. I was like, oh, I found this cool. I remember finding like a mirror that was kind of in the shape of a very stretched out oval, almost like a surfboard, if you will. So I did a silver surfer painting on it, which was interesting because I painted everything but the Silver Surfer. He was still mirror surface.
Right.
And people just really liked it. And I said, well, maybe I should start doing this. So that's how yard sale came about. Del Regard is literally just started as a fun, make money on the side thing on eBay, which I still do. But that's where all the whole yard sale art thing came from.
Yeah, and it's a very creative thing, I must say, you know.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
when you don't have the talent level that Mark Hatherley has, you have to find a different way to appeal.
But hey, I always say art, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, you know?
That's true.
We see all sorts of things and like all different things. That's the beauty of artwork.
And GLHG nailed it. He says Mark loses himself on the page, and you really do. You just get into it, you hit a vibe, and
yeah,
make beautiful stuff, man.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. It's what I like to do, you know, so getting credit for it makes it that much better.
Well, we are just over an hour. We've had plenty of people stop by and say hi. Yeah. We really appreciate it. Yeah. Whether you're here now or watching us on a replay, both Mark and I, Mark's a regular guest on the show. We're doing our best to show up every Tuesday night or evening at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, which would make it 4 Mountain and 3 Pacific. Mm-hmm. Every Tuesday to do some art and talk like we did this evening.
Yeah, just have some fun.
Please join us. He's basically the co-host of the show because I love having him here and it's fun.
Yeah, well, I'll take that title too. Thank you. I'll take whatever I can get.
So we appreciate you guys spending time with us. Please do give us a subscription on YouTube. That would mean the world to us. Or if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, if you just give it a like and drop us a comment, say hello. Yeah. It means a lot to us.
A little retweet.
Always. Just once again, as I'm closing out the show, Mark's Doctor Strange is for sale. So if you need one of those wonderful Doctor Strange 9x12s in your life, reach out to him. His Twitter handle is on the screen.
Yeah.
Duchess says my Vader looks beastie, which I think is a compliment. And I appreciate that. And this one is spoken for. This is a commission, but like it was asked earlier in the chat, if you want a book page sketch from me, they are a scant $22 delivered to your house there in the United States. And outside the United States, we'll work it out. I usually do them at $20 a sketch, just plus actual shipping. So be sure to get on my commissions list. If you want to get one picked up, then see me at Heroes Con. It's kind of my next big one in June.
Yep, and I do commissions as well. So if you want something specific, you can just let me know.
There you go.
Otherwise, I just draw stuff.
That's right. Get a commission from Mark. I got a commission from Mark back when we first got to know each other, and I've got it right here. I'm going to grab it. I'm considering inking this, my friend. I got a beachhead from G.I. Joe. There it is.
Yeah, that's Mark. Cool. I always liked how that one came out too, you know.
It's great. And I set it aside because I was like, I might just ink this one night while we're doing our thing. And then the question comes, like, if somebody wants to buy our G.I. Joe piece, do I sell it or I keep it for myself?
Well, that's the other problem, huh? Because some of the stuff I do is, you know, after once you finally settle it, you look at it, it's kind of tough to let it go, but then you say, well, hey, it's a piece of paper, some pencil, ink.
Somewhere around here, I've got another James Bond piece that you and I did together.
Yeah,
I inked your pencils, and since the last one sold, I was like, should I put that one out? But I don't think since I do collect original James Bond art, I think that one's staying with me. But I might consider giving up Beachhead. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
What I'll probably do is just ink it on the show, and if someone makes an offer, I'll probably crack and sell it to them.
Right, exactly.
But if nobody makes an offer, I'm fine with that too. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, because then you get to keep it.
I get to keep it.
So that always works as well.
Exactly. Wow. Cool. Thank you, everybody, for being
All
here.
right.
Again, if you need any art or you want to make any offers for Mark, you see his Twitter handle on the screen.
Yeah.
He's good about chatting on Twitter.
Yeah, prices are very negotiable, so we could always work that out.
Yep, we're happy to draw things and sell them.
Yeah.
Well, coolness. Again, you've been listening to the tunes of Joe November. Please check out his album Beats Without Homes. Technically by Till November, but if you search Beats Without Homes, it'll be yours. And I appreciate it if you like these jams. Other than that,
yes, sir.
Like and subscribe goes a long way for me and Mark. We appreciate it. and we will catch you guys next time.
All right. So long.
Bye.